Cubs close out the unofficial first half of the MLB season with a bang, an 8-3 win over the Cardinals to salvage a 2-2 series split and a 5-2 week heading into the All-Star break. That and more on this edition of the Cubs Baseball channel. Make sure to like and subscribe. Get in that comment section. Let us know how you're feeling about this team as they're surging heading into the All-Star break. Here is your invitation to our show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Cubs Baseball channel. My name is Anthony Pasquale on Twitter at @Ant_Pasquale3. Thank you guys so much for joining us, talking some Cubs baseball here on a beautiful Monday, the first day of MLB's All-Star break. Got a lot to get into, but let's start here. The Cubs Baseball channel. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Make sure to follow us on there. Engage with us on those accounts. Just the same way you like and subscribe and get in our comment section here on YouTube. Do the same thing on Twitter, on Instagram, and on TikTok as we try to grow those pages and collaborate with you guys on some of those different channels as well. But an awesome game to talk about yesterday. The Cubs thumped the Cardinals 8-3, the final score. A ton of awesome, nice, good things to talk about in this game. Want to start with a quick shout out to Alex Cohen, the Cubs AAA broadcaster who made his MLB debut yesterday on Marquee Sports Network. He was awesome. Him and JD had some great chemistry, as well as Taylor McGregor down in the dugout, I should say. Alex Cohen, really nice guy, so couldn't be happier for a guy like him. So congratulations to him. And he's a guy that has seen Pete Crow-Armstrong just the same way Mick has show signs of excellence in the minor leagues. There's a reason he was the Cubs' top prospect and a highly ranked one in the entire league at that. And yesterday, we all saw why. It was Hollywood Pete's best game as a pro. Not only did he tally his 17th stolen base of the season, which is a current MLB record in the league this year for most consecutive steals without being caught. He leads the league in steals without being caught with 17, but it wasn't only that stolen base. He hit 2 home runs. His first home run of his career was back on April 25th, and he's been a bit of a power slump since then. Not anymore. He clubbed 2 dingers in Busch Stadium on a scorching hot day. One, a blast out to right field, and the second one, a bomb to straightaway center. He was fired up running the bases, and that's not where it stopped. He made an excellent catch running up against the wall. He made a shoestring catch ranging to his right to save a run. And then he also got to a ball in the gap hit by Lars Nootbaar that I thought there was no chance wasn't touching down and going all the way to the wall to score a run. Pete Crow-Armstrong got it. He was sensational yesterday in all facets, and that's why he's earned the nickname Hollywood Pete. He's an electrifying player who can impact the game at so many different levels. Obviously needs to improve a little bit his eye and needs to be getting on base a little bit more to use that speed, but he showcased the power yesterday. The speed is always on display, and the defense is sensational. An awesome game from Hollywood Pete. Can't wait to see the strides he takes after the All-Star break. But it wasn't only Pete Crow-Armstrong. The Cubs whacked 6 homers out of the stadium, and we talk a lot about how a baseball season can have a lot of punches, a gut punch that could set you back. And losing both games of that doubleheader yesterday was certainly concerning. The Cubs came in on a 5-game winning streak, and then they get kind of punched in the mouth, losing 11-3, and then losing the second game of the doubleheader 2 nights ago by virtue of a blown save. But they responded yesterday in a big way, and the offense was a huge reason why. The Cubs scored 8 runs, and they had 6 bombs. Pete Crow-Armstrong and Tomas Nido went back-to-back. That was an awesome sight to see. Pete Crow-Armstrong homered another time in the ball game. And then later on in the game, Christopher Morel and Ian Happ went back-to-back. So the Cubs went back-to-back twice. Morel also added an additional home run. So he had a pair. Pete Crow-Armstrong had a pair. Tomas Nido and Ian Happ all homered. So here's the recap. Morel and PCA both homered twice. The Cubs also go back-to-back twice. awesome display of offense against the St. Louis Cardinals. Always good to whack it around the yard against your arch rival. And a big reason why the Cubs have had so much success this week is the bottom of the order coming through. Obviously, yesterday, Nido and Armstrong were 8 and 9. They go back to back. Armstrong comes around with an additional home run, but it wasn't just yesterday. 2 nights ago, Miguel Amaya hit a home run to get the Cubs on the board. Dansby Swanson's been heating up as of late. Obviously, after the Cody Bellinger injury, he moved up from 7 to 6 in the lineup, but he started getting hot when he was hitting 7th. Miles Mastrobuoni is putting together some nice at-bats. He's had 3 multi-hit games this week. So the bottom of the order getting able to get on base and generate runs and also kind of move those chains to get it back to the top of the order has been really nice to see. And you got to give guys like Dansby Swanson, Miles Mastrobuoni, Pete Crow-Armstrong, in the last couple of days, Miguel Amaya and Tomas Nido some credit. So credit where credit is due there, as the Cubs offense seems to be breaking through at the right time. At a time like this, you'd think, man, I wish they didn't have an all-star break coming up because they're playing some pretty good baseball. But an all-star break is on the schedule, which is, of course, good for the pitching staff. They could definitely use some rest. Going to run through a quick pitching update for the Chicago Cubs. This weekend had a lot of moves up and down, so I just want to recap it fully. The other night, Luke Little was injured. He was placed on the 15-day injured list. After he was injured, the Cubs had a few moves to make because it was also the day of the doubleheader. So Ethan Roberts was called up for the day of the doubleheader, and Javier Assad was activated off the injured list as the team's 27th man for the doubleheader, and he made the start in Game 2. After Game 1, Ethan Roberts pitched, and he was sent down before Game 2, which allowed Daniel Palencia to be recalled. We haven't seen him in action yet, but Daniel Palencia is currently on the 26-man roster. After the doubleheader, the Cubs had to cut their roster from 27 to 26. Assad moves from the 27th man to being the 26th man, and the Cubs send down Hunter Bigge, who struggled a little bit with command near the end of that series in St. Louis. I'm sure he'll be back soon, throwing 100, 101, certainly plays in the bullpen, but just want to see him work out some kinks before he returns. Now for after the All-Star break, Justin Steele is going to be the first man up, kind of a redo of opening day. He's going to start the first game after the All-Star break. Shota Imanaga is on normal rest to be able to pitch in the All-Star game Tuesday, so the expectation is that he will get an inning in the All-Star game. The Cubs now has 6 starters healthy with Steele, Imanaga, Taillon, Hendricks, Wesneski, and Assad. So the Cubs have a decision to make. Craig Counsell said the first time through the rotation after the All-Star break, they will be using 5 starters, not 6. So you'd assume Assad is probably going to be that 4th starter after Steele, Taillon, and Imanaga. And then you have to discuss whether Hayden Wesneski or Kyle Hendricks is going to get that 5th start. And after the way they both pitched this time through the rotation, I'd have to lean toward Hendricks, and maybe Wesneski goes back into the bullpen. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comment section there. But let's do a quick recap of these standings as we head into the All-Star break. The Cubs, 4 games under 500 at 47 and 51, 8.5 games back in the NL Central, and 3.5 games back in the NL Wildcard. They did do some good work this week, though. They passed up both the Washington Nationals and the Giants and have evened into a tie or a half-game difference with the Reds. So still some work to do, of course, but the Cubs definitely had a good week in the right direction. According to Fangraphs, the Cubs have a 10.5% chance to make the playoffs and a 3.4% chance to win the NL Central. No game today, no game until Friday. The Cubs begin the All-Star break today. They're back after the All-Star break with a homestand against the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Milwaukee Brewers. That starts Friday and will go all the way until the 24th. The Cubs are off July 25th and then go on a road trip to Kansas City and Cincinnati to end the month of July. But guys, thank you so much for joining us on the Cubs Baseball channel. Always appreciate your interactions, your likes, your subscriptions, ringing the bell, your comments, whether it's on here, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and of course, YouTube. We appreciate all of it. Can't wait to talk to you guys next week. Get into some trade discussion, some roster updates, and of course, breaking down Shota Imanaga's All-Star Game appearance. But for now, we appreciate you guys listening. My name's Anthony. Go Cubs.